Now let us start the inter-process communication. The inter-process communication means the way in which processes communicates with each other. We know that there are different processes running in our system. Some processes running in background and some processes are running in foreground. And these processes may need to communicate with each other. So the way the process communicate with each other is known as inter-process communication. Processes executing concurrently in the operating system may be either independent processes or cooperating processes. In the operating system, two or more processes running concurrently means they are executing at a same time. So, when two or more processes executing at the same time in the operating system, these processes may be either independent processes or cooperating processes. A process is independent if it does not share data with any other processes executing in the system. A process is cooperating if it affects or be affected by the other processes executing in the system. A process is cooperating if it can affect or be affected. Means any process that shares data with other process is a cooperating process. There are several reasons for providing an environment that allows process cooperation. Information sharing, computation speed up, modularity, and convenience. Since several applications may be interested in same piece of information. For example, copying and pasting. We must provide an environment to allow concurrent access to such information. So for this purpose, information sharing must be required. So by providing information sharing environment, the process can communicate with each other. Another environment or another reason we can say that is computation speed up. Computation speed up, if we want a particular task to run faster, we must break into subtasks, each of which will be executing in parallel with other processes. But here such a speed up can be achieved only if the computer has multiple processing cores. Otherwise there is no use of partitioning, or we can say breaking the process into task into subtask. But when we break down the task into subtask, then the computational speed always increase. So for that purpose we required this environment. Modularity. Next is modularity. We may want to construct the system in a modular fashion, dividing the system functions into separate processes or threads so that system becomes modular. So for that purpose also we required we provide such environment. Then next is convenience. If we allow processes to cooperate with each other, or if we provide an environment in which processes can cooperate with each other, then that becomes very convenient for the users. For example, User may be using her system, may be doing several different tasks at a same time. Maybe listening to music, typing a document, or printing a document at the same time, so that there are different processes running at the same time. These processes running concurrently, and they need to cooperate with each other so that the entire task can run smoothly without clashing with each other. So but in what ways we can provide an environment that allows process cooperation, or in what ways can we let the processes to cooperate or communicate with each other? That is the question. Or how the inter-process communication does actually take place? Yes, we have the answer for that. That is, cooperating processes requires an inter-process communication mechanism. In short, we can say it is IPC. IPC. So this IPC is employed that will allow them to exchange data, that is, send data to and receive data from each other. So it always requires that one process can communicate with other process. So whenever the number of tasks are there and we are actually performing different tasks, uh, for example, if I am accessing the web browser, I want to access the web browser at the same time I am opening another tab, two or three tab at the same time I am actually downloading some data, at the same time I am copying and pasting onto the into the word page. So number of tasks we are going to perform at that time, we required to break these tasks into different subtasks. So for that, cooperation of or communication of that processes must be needed, and that is always through the IPC mechanism. There are two fundamental models of inter-process communication. Number one, shared memory, and number two, message passing. In the shared memory model, a region of memory that is shared by the cooperating processes that is established. One shared memory is used, and that shared memory can be used by the cooperating processes. Very simple example, if P1 and P2, these two processes are there and they want to communicate with each other, at that time, if we are using shared memory model, at that time, that P1 will share the memory, will put the data, the message, whatever the communication methodology that can be put into the shared memory, and process P2 will read that. We can say P1 write the message into the memory while P2 read the message from that memory. So that is shared memory concept. Processes can then exchange information by reading and writing data to the shared region. In the second is message passing. In the message passing model, communication takes place by means of message exchange between the cooperating processes. Both the model just mentioned are common in operating systems, and many systems implement this both models. Message passing is useful for exchanging smaller amount of data because no conflict need be avoided. Shared memory can be faster than message passing. Since message passing systems are typically implemented using system calls and thus requires the more time consuming task of kernel intervention. In shared memory, system calls are required only to establish shared memory regions. Once shared memory region is established, all accesses are treated as routine memory access and no assistance from the kernel is required. While in message passing, there is intervention of kernel because the kernel is used to pass the message, because of P1 will pass the message to kernel, then kernel will pass the message to P2. So kernel is busy in passing the messages from P1 to P2 and number of processes. So uh, these are the communication model. The first is shared memory. Shared memory model. Inter-process communication using shared memory requires communication process to establish a region of shared memory. So here this is the shared memory. It is established for communication, we can say. Typically, a shared memory region resides the address space of the process, creating the shared memory segment. This shared memory segment is used to shared by process A and process B. Other processes that wish to communicate using this shared memory segment must attach it to their address space. Uh, it is obvious actually. Uh, the process which wants to communicate with another process that must share this memory, that must attach with their address space. Now this shared memory is attached with the address space of A and B. So this shared memory shared by process A and process B. Normally the operating system tries to prevent one process from accessing another process memory, because we know that if there is a process, there is a process control block PCB, and PCB having some memory space. So process A PCB having PCB cannot we can say communicate with process B's PCB. So it implies the uh, shared memory in between process A and process B. There is no actually connection of PCB with this shared memory. Shared memory requires that two or more processes agree to remove these restrictions. They can exchange information by reading and writing data in the shared area. The form of the data and the location are determined by these processes and are not under the operating system's control. The processes are responsible for ensuring that they are not writing to the same location simultaneously. So this way the process A communicate with the shared memory. That means process A writing some data into the shared memory, and process B will read the data from the shared memory. So write process is employed by process A and read process is employed by process B, read from the shared memory. Process A write the information into the shared memory while process B read the information from the shared memory. So both process A and process B must agree upon the use of or sharing of this memory. So this process are also responsible for ensuring that they are not writing to the same location simultaneously. So locations are there in a shared memory also. So they must use their location. So simultaneously they should not uh, write in the same location, otherwise there may be a conflict. Now let us see another communication model, that is message passing. Message passing provides a mechanism to allow processes to communicate and to synchronize their action without sharing the same address space. Now here's let us see memory. We can say shared memory is there in the shared memory model, while there is no shared memory or there is no space for the memory in the message passing. But process A must use their own area, their own region, that is indicated with the M. M is the memory area. So sorry, message. M is not a memory, it is a message. So it is the message M is stored in a particular space available with the A, and this another message available in a process B. Now process A wants to communicate with process B. It is particularly useful in distributed environment actually, where the communication processes may reside on different computers connected by network. For example, an internet chat program could be designed so that chat participants communicate with one another by exchanging information. Message passing facility provides at least two operations, that is send message and receive message. Like this, process A communicate or send a message to the kernel, and then kernel will send this message to process B. In this way, this process A and process B will communicate with each other. So this message will now transfer to this process B. So two different operations must be there, send message and receive message. Message sent by process can be either fixed or variable in size. That may be possible. If only fixed size message can be sent, the system level implementation is straightforward. So this is about communication model. Let us see the summary of this subtopic. When shared memory is used for communication between processes, two or more processes share the same region of memory. We have seen this one, that in a shared memory, a same shared memory area is or region is used and shared by different processes. Two processes may communicate by exchanging message with one another using message passing. So one process can send the message to kernel. Kernel intervention is must, that is involved, and then kernel will transfer or send the message to the another process. So here send and receive, these two messages must be, these two operations must be employed. So here we conclude the subtopic, that is inter process communication models.